The stars stretched endlessly across the black sky, glittering like scattered diamonds over the void. Captain Elias Kale stared at the control panel of his ship, the Vanguard, his fingers tapping lightly against the console as the soft hum of the engines filled the cabin. He had seen countless star systems, but the emptiness beyond the Mira 9 sector felt different. There was a stillness, almost like the universe itself was holding its breath. He leaned back in his seat, rubbing his jaw. His team had been asleep for hours, resting in the cryopods while the ship coasted through the outskirts of an uncharted system. Elias was alone with his thoughts, and the message. It had come through the secure comms a few hours earlier, faint and fragmented, as though filtered through 1,000 light-years of static. But the words were clear, unmistakable. Don't stop until I'm yours. There had been no signature, no explanation, only those words. Elias had replayed them countless times, trying to parse the meaning. Was it a distress call? A trap or something? Personal? A chill ran down his spine. Humans rarely sent messages like that anymore. Most transmissions were cold, calculated, filled with coordinates or tactical commands. This felt different, alive, urgent. Captain Kale, the ship's AI, Artemis said in her calm, almost melodic voice, "You have received another transmission from Mira 9. It is similar to the previous message." Elias frowned. "Another one?" "Forward it to the display." The holographic panel flickered, revealing a faint figure, a woman in a lab coat standing in a room that had long since fallen to ruin. Her hair was tied back, her eyes sharp even in the static of the transmission. The image glitched for a moment, then she spoke. "Don't stop until I'm yours," that was it. Nothing else. No coordinates, no warnings, just those haunting words. Elias rubbed his temples. Mira 9 was on no current human maps. It was a forgotten colony, lost for over 3 centuries. Any human there would be long gone, or worse. And yet here was a message unmistakably human addressed to him, or at least to someone. "Artemis," Elias said, straightening in his seat. "Check the transmission logs. Trace the origin if you can. I want everything on Mira 9. "Captain," Artemis replied, "the signal is extremely weak. It has been traveling through deep space relays and could be centuries old. It is unlikely we can trace it precisely." Elias sighed. This was typical. No one ever said humanity's past would be easy to uncover. But he knew one thing: humans did not give up. It was in their nature to fight, explore, and persist even when the odds were impossible. A soft beep interrupted his thoughts. The rest of the crew had begun to stir. Lieutenant Mara Vey, the ship's strategist, appeared first, rubbing her eyes. "Morning," she muttered, glancing at the console. "I take it the ghost in the machine woke you too?" Elias smirked. "Something like that." "Mira 9, ever heard of it?" Mara shook her head. "Not on any current map. It's supposed to be a dead colony. Why would anyone send a message from there?" "That's what we're about to find out," Elias said, his voice firm. "We're going to Mira 9, Mara blinked. "Captain, you do realize this could be a trap. It could be alien interference or worse. The Vrin have patrols in this sector. Entering Mira 9 without full intel is suicidal." Elias leaned forward, resting his forearms on the console. "I know, but humans survive where technology fails. We think, adapt, and persevere. That message, it's human. I can feel it. I'm going to see it through." Artemis's voice softened. "Captain, I must advise caution. The odds are heavily against us, but your resolve is noted. I will prepare the ship for deep space approach to Mira 9. By mid-afternoon, the Vanguard exited hyperspace near the Mira 9 system. The planet below was a muted blue and green, streaked with scars of past wars and environmental collapse. Dust storms swirled across its surface, evidence of centuries of abandonment. Elias pressed a button on the console, activating the external cameras. "Look at that," he murmured, awe mixing with concern. "The colony, it's still there. In some form." Mara joined him, her eyes narrowing. "Not much left. But the readings show faint energy signatures near the equator. Could be automated systems or survivors." Elias's heart quickened. Human ingenuity never stopped, even in the face of extinction. If someone or something was still alive, they had adapted, survived, thrived. "Prepare the shuttle," Elias ordered. "We're going down." "Artemis, scan for life signs. Anything human." The descent was tense. Dust and debris kicked up around them as the shuttle entered the planet's thin atmosphere. Below, Jagged ruins of metal and concrete littered the landscape. Towering structures that had once been research labs and living quarters were now skeletal remains, their walls scorched and windows shattered. As they approached the coordinates of the energy signature, a soft glow emerged from the ruins, a faint, pulsating light almost like a heartbeat. Elias's jaw tightened. There it is. That's our destination. The shuttle landed roughly, kicking up clouds of ash. Elias and his team donned their environmental suits and stepped out. The air was thin, carrying a faint metallic scent. The ground crunched beneath their boots as they approached the light source. It was a small dome, half buried in rubble. The glow emanated from inside, faint but steady. Elias placed his hand on the entrance hatch. This is it. Stay alert. Mara checked her scanner. No immediate threats detected. But the readings are inconsistent. Could be automated defenses. Elias nodded. Good, let's move. Inside, the dome was surprisingly intact. Panels lined the walls, blinking softly. A terminal stood at the center, projecting a holographic map of the surrounding area. And there, at the far end of the room, a faint shimmer caught his eye. A figure sitting in the corner, head bowed. Elias stepped forward cautiously. Hello, can you hear me? The figure looked up, and for a moment Elias thought he saw recognition in her eyes, even though they were human yet strange, altered somehow by time or technology. The woman's voice was soft but clear. I've been waiting. Elias's pulse quickened. Who are you? She smiled faintly, almost sadly. Lyra Ansel, you received my message. Elias froze. How are you alive? Lyra gestured to the terminal. I'm not entirely. The colony fell centuries ago. I survived in stasis, preserved in the systems here. I sent the message across time, hoping someone would come. And you did. Elias felt a mixture of relief and disbelief. Humanity had a way of defying logic, of surviving when everything seemed lost. And here it was, staring him in the face. You have to help me. Lyra continued, her voice steady but urgent. The Vryn, they're still hunting us. Mira 9 was their experiment. They wanted to study humans to see how far we would go to survive, and now, they know someone came. Elias exchanged a glance with Mara. We'll get you out. That's a promise, Lyra shook her head. It's not that simple. The Vryn, they're everywhere. They'll come. You can't fight them like you fight humans. You need persistence, strategy, commitment. Don't stop until I'm yours, Elias. That's not just my message. It's the truth about humanity. You have to reach me, no matter what. Elias's heart pounded. The words echoed in his mind. Don't stop until I'm yours. Not about possession, about resolve, about proving human spirit against impossible odds. Outside, a shadow flickered across the ruins' perimeter. Sensors pinged faintly. The Vryn had arrived. Elias drew his sidearm. Mara, positions. Artemis, lock down perimeter. Humans don't give up, not now. Not ever. The first Vryn drones appeared, sleek, black, and terrifying. Their optics glowed red as they advanced. But Elias didn't falter. Every instinct, every decision he had ever made as a captain, told him one thing. Humans survive where others fail. The battle began, and the true test of persistence was about to start. And somewhere deep in the ruins, Lyra watched, her eyes reflecting hope she hadn't felt in centuries. The human spirit she knew was unstoppable, and now it had come for her. The Vryn drones moved like shadows, gliding across the broken ruins of Mira 9. Red sensors scanned for movement, their mechanical limbs silent but deadly. Captain Elias Kale crouched behind a crumbling wall, his pulse quick, his eyes never leaving the approaching threat. Beside him, Lieutenant Mara Vey adjusted her visor, scanning for vulnerabilities in the enemy formation. Artemis, the ship's AI, projected tactical overlays into their helmets. Drones approaching from the east. Estimated strength 6 units. Recommend evasive maneuvering and use of environment for cover. Elias gritted his teeth. No running. We move forward. Humans survive when others hesitate. Remember that. The first drone passed, unaware of the humans hiding in the shadows. Its red eye flickered as it scanned the debris. Elias signaled to Mara. Together they rolled behind a fallen tower, emerging on the other side. The glow from Lyra's terminal pulsed softly, a beacon in the dim ruin. She remained crouched, her hands hovering over holographic controls. "They're adapting," she said. "The Vryn learned from the old colony. They know our patterns." Elias clenched his jaw. "Then we change the pattern. Humans aren't predictable. That's our strength." He grabbed a portable EMP device from his pack and activated it. A pulse of blue light burst outward, temporarily disabling the drone's sensors. They toppled over, their red eyes flickering before shutting down. Elias and his team sprinted toward the terminal, Lyra guiding them through the labyrinth of corridors. As they moved, the history of Mira 9 became clear. Rusted metal walls were etched with markings, remnants of human ingenuity and hope. It was a testament to perseverance. Children's drawings still faintly visible, scientific schematics carved into the walls, and faded messages of encouragement. Never give up. Human spirit survives. Mara glanced at Elias. "I get it now. This is more than a colony. It's a statement. Humans endure when no one expects it." Elias nodded. "Exactly. And that's what the Vryn fear." The terminal led them to a larger chamber filled with dormant machinery. Lyra explained that this was the heart of the colony's defense system, a network of automated turrets, energy shields, and traps, all designed to protect the remaining humans. "We can use this," she said. "We can turn their own systems against them." Elias studied the schematics. "If we reprogram the defenses, we can create a corridor to escape. But we have to move fast. The drones won't stay disabled for long." Working together, the humans moved with precision. Mara hacked the control panels, bypassing security protocols, while Elias coordinated their movements. Every decision required logic, courage, and the willingness to act despite danger. "Almost there," Lyra said, sweat forming on her brow. "Just a few more sequences." A sudden alarm blared through the chamber. The Vryn had realized their mistake. Dozens of drones flooded the room, advancing with mechanical precision. Elias raised his weapon. "Positions. Remember, humans survive when others falter. We fight smarter, not just harder." The team moved in coordinated strikes. Mara's sharpshooting disabled drone limbs. Elias used his agility to outmaneuver attacks, and Lyra's commands activated the automated turrets. One by one, the drones fell, unable to anticipate the humans' unpredictable tactics. In the midst of the chaos, Elias saw something that made him pause. A holographic projection of the original colony appeared, depicting the humans of Mira 9 fighting the Vryn centuries ago. They moved with determination, never yielding, their actions mirrored by Elias and his team. Lyra's voice cut through the comms. "Elias, the final sequence is ready. Activate it now." He hit the command and the chamber transformed. Energy shields rose, creating a protected corridor leading to the surface. The remaining drones were trapped inside, unable to escape the automated defenses. The team sprinted toward the exit, lungs burning, hearts pounding. They emerged onto the surface, greeted by the thin, cool wind of Mira 9. Above them, the sky was vast and silent, a canvas of stars and possibilities, but there was no time to rest. Artemis's voice rang out urgently. "Captain, new energy signatures detected. Vryn reinforcements are approaching from the north and south. Estimated arrival, 5 minutes." Elias's jaw tightened. "We hold them off long enough to escape. Humans endure when the impossible comes. That's what makes us powerful." They quickly set traps using remnants of the colony's technology, pressure mines, holographic decoys, and energy pulses designed to confuse the enemy. When the first wave of drones appeared, they were met with chaos. The drones collided with invisible barriers, fell into pits, and malfunctioned under the EMP interference. Mara laughed despite the danger. "I didn't think humans could be this chaotic." Elias smiled grimly. "That's the point. Chaos is our weapon. Predictable beings are weak. Humans, we adapt." The battle raged for minutes that felt like hours, but with strategy, teamwork, and sheer human determination, they managed to hold the Vryn back. The reinforcements were delayed, confused by the improvised traps and unpredictable tactics. Finally, Lyra pointed toward a ridge overlooking the ruins. "There, the shuttle. If we reach it, we can escape." Elias led the sprint, Mara covering their rear. The drones were relentless, but human ingenuity prevailed. They reached the shuttle, boarding quickly as Artemis prepared for takeoff. As the engines roared to life, Elias looked down at Mira 9. The ruins below were silent again, but a part of him knew that the spirit of the humans who had lived here was alive, watching and proud, Lyra's gaze met his. You understood. You didn't stop. That's what the message meant. Humans endure, Elias, even when the odds are against them. Elias exhaled, the tension finally easing. We didn't stop because we couldn't. That's what makes humans strong. We fight for each other. We fight for survival. We fight because giving up isn't an option. The shuttle lifted off, breaking through the thin atmosphere of Mira 9. Outside, the Vryn drones tried to follow, but Artemis's navigation and the planet's natural canyons provided cover. The enemy faltered, unable to predict human tactics, and soon they were left behind. Inside the shuttle, the team began to breathe normally for the first time in hours. Mara leaned back in her seat. I have to admit, Captain, humans really are something else. Even when cornered, we find a way. Elias nodded. It's not just about survival, Mara, it's about persistence. About refusing to give up. About reaching for something even when it seems impossible. That's why I came here. That's why I keep going. Lyra's holographic AI projection flickered beside him, and that's why I waited. Centuries ago, I knew someone like you would come, someone who embodies human determination. The message. It was never just words. It was a test, and you passed. Elias smiled faintly, looking out at the stars. Then the next step is clear. We need to uncover the rest of Mira 9's secrets. The Vryn may think they've studied humans, but they don't understand our resilience. They don't understand commitment. They don't understand that humans never stop. Artemis's voice chimed softly. Course plotted to deeper sectors of Mira 9. Analysis indicates potential survivors or remnants of the original colony. Caution advised. High Vryn activity detected. Elias's eyes narrowed. Caution is for those who fear failure. We don't. Humans fight, humans endure, and humans adapt. That's what makes us unstoppable. Let's go. The shuttle accelerated into the darkness of space, leaving Mira 9 behind but carrying its spirit with them. Elias and his team knew the trial had only begun. The Vryn would not give up, and the secrets of the lost colony would not reveal themselves easily. But humans had a way of turning trials into triumphs. Lyra's voice was soft but resolute. Don't stop, Elias. The future of humanity depends on it, and you are the one who will lead the way. Elias clenched his fists. I won't stop. Not now, not ever. Humans never stop until the goal is theirs. Outside, the stars stretched infinitely, a challenge and an invitation. Inside, the humans aboard the shuttle prepared for the battles ahead. Each knew that the path forward would test them in ways no one had imagined. But for Elias, Mara, Lyra, and the rest of the team, there was no turning back, because humans endure. Humans adapt, humans persevere, and in the face of the impossible, humans always find a way. And somewhere in the darkness, the Vryn watched, uncomprehending. They had faced humans before, but they had never seen determination like this. They had never encountered a species willing to fight, adapt, and endure without pause, without surrender. And now they were learning a lesson they would never forget. The shuttle's engines hummed steadily, carrying its human cargo toward the next unknown. Mira 9 faded from view, but its lessons remained. Persistence, courage, ingenuity. These were the tools that humans wielded against the galaxy itself. And Elias Kale, the man who had received a simple message centuries old, knew one undeniable truth. Humans never stop until they reach what they are meant to achieve. The shuttle glided through the darkness of space, leaving Mira 9 behind. Captain Elias Kale sat in the pilot's seat, eyes fixed on the blinking navigation console. Every star outside reminded him that the galaxy was vast, but it was also filled with challenges and enemies. The Vryn would not allow humans to continue uncovering the secrets of Mira 9 without interference. Elias knew the next stage of their mission would be even harder. Beside him, Lieutenant Mara Vey checked her weapons and gear. Captain, the Vryn activity has increased, she said. Sensors detect multiple patrols ahead. It won't be easy to land again. Elias nodded. Nothing worth achieving is ever easy. Humans don't give up just because the path is dangerous. We adapt, we endure, and we fight. Lyra's holographic AI flickered in the cabin, her image pale but resolute. Elias, there is more to Mira 9 than the ruins. The original colony left data caches hidden deep underground. If we can access them, we can learn their secrets and possibly gain an advantage over the Vryn. Elias's eyes narrowed. Then that's our goal. We reach the core, secure the caches, and uncover what humans lost. Artemis plot a course to the deepest sectors. Avoid patrol routes if possible, but be ready to engage if needed. The shuttle accelerated silently, weaving through asteroid belts and planetary debris. As they approached the new coordinates, a massive structure emerged from the planet's atmosphere. A deep, buried facility that had been hidden for centuries. It was a relic of human engineering, built to withstand natural disasters, war, and even alien incursions. Elias exhaled. This is it. The heart of Mira 9. Mara's scanner beeped urgently. Captain, there's heavy Vrin activity near the surface. They have fortified positions around the entrance. It won't be a simple landing. Elias's jaw tightened. Then we won't land simply. Humans never do the obvious. We do what others cannot anticipate. They descended carefully, skimming the rocky surface, avoiding patrol drones as Artemis guided the shuttle toward a hidden access shaft. The entrance was partially buried in rubble, nearly invisible to sensors. Elias landed the shuttle in a narrow clearing and quickly deployed the team. Move fast, Elias ordered. The longer we stay exposed, the more the Vrin will find us. Inside the facility, the air was cool and still. Shadows stretched along the walls, broken only by the glow of emergency lights. Ancient machinery hummed faintly, evidence of a civilization that had refused to die. Elias and Mara moved cautiously, weapons ready as Lyra guided them deeper. This way, Lyra said. The data caches are located in the central archive. But be careful. Security systems are still active and the Vrin have stationed patrols nearby. As they advanced, they encountered the first line of Vrin defense, automated turrets that activated the moment they entered the corridor. Elias signaled Mara and they ducked behind pillars as laser beams sliced the air. Artemis, override the turrets, Elias commanded. Attempting, Artemis replied. Override requires direct access to central control node. Elias nodded. Then we go to the node. Mara, cover me. They moved with precision, using shadows and debris for cover. Human creativity and quick thinking allowed them to bypass traps and patrols in ways the Vrin could not predict. Unlike the aliens, humans improvised, adapted, and used every advantage the environment provided. Reaching the control node, Elias interfaced with the ancient terminal. Sparks flew as he bypassed alien encryption protocols, a mix of human logic and intuition guiding his fingers. Moments later, the turrets powered down, their threat neutralized. Good work, Captain, Lyra said. Now the path is clear. They proceeded deeper into the facility, where the walls widened into a massive archive chamber. Rows of storage units stretched to the ceiling, each containing holographic data, biological samples, and technological prototypes from the original colony. Mara approached one of the consoles. This is incredible, she whispered. These are centuries-old designs, and they're still functional. Elias scanned the room. We need to prioritize. Extract the information that can help us understand Mira 9's history, and the Vrin's interest in humans. Then we get out before reinforcements arrive. As they worked, the facility shook with a distant tremor. The Vrin found us, Artemis warned. Patrols are converging from multiple directions. Estimated arrival in 2 minutes. Elias gritted his teeth. Then we make this fast. Humans endure. Humans adapt. And humans fight with purpose. The team split up. Mara downloaded data while Elias and Lyra secured the perimeter. Automated defense drones activated, their weapons trained on the humans. But Elias was ready. Using quick movements, clever distractions, and improvised traps, he neutralized the drones one by one. This is why humans survive, Elias muttered. We don't just confront danger. We anticipate it, we manipulate it, and we turn it into opportunity. Lyra's AI projection hovered nearby. Captain, you are proving the point I have been teaching for centuries. The Vrin cannot understand commitment and ingenuity. They measure strength only by firepower. Humans measure it by resolve. The data download completed, Mara signaled. Got it, every cache we need. Time to leave, Elias nodded. Then let's move before the Vrin realize what we have. The exit route was not clear. Patrols blocked the main corridors, forcing the humans to improvise. Using ventilation shafts, hidden passages, and quick thinking, they avoided detection. Every step required courage and creativity, hallmarks of humanity that no alien system could fully anticipate. Suddenly, a squad of Vrin soldiers appeared at the far end of the hallway. Red eyes glowing, they advanced with mechanical precision. Elias held his ground. Mara, flank left. Lyra, initiate defensive grid. Energy shields rose from the walls, forcing the Vrin to slow. The humans moved with coordination, striking quickly, retreating strategically. Every action displayed a mix of logic and unpredictability, human traits that made them formidable even against superior technology. The Vryn hesitated, unable to adapt to the unconventional tactics. Elias used the moment to sprint past them, pulling Mara and Lyra along. The corridor led to a vertical shaft, an emergency exit leading to the surface. "Go!" Elias shouted. They climbed into the shaft as Vryn fire streaked past them. The emergency elevator took them upward, shaking violently as the aliens attempted to disable it. But human determination held firm. The elevator reached the surface and they emerged into a rocky canyon, just as the Vryn closed in. Elias activated the shuttle's beacon. "Artemis, extract us now." The shuttle descended swiftly, blasters firing to clear a path. Elias and Mara ran, Lyra following closely. They boarded the shuttle just as the Vryn troops reached the canyon's edge. Elias slammed the controls. The engines roared, lifting them away from the planet. Below, the Vryn paused, unable to pursue effectively. The humans had once again turned the tide through ingenuity, courage, and persistence. Inside the shuttle, the team exhaled collectively, adrenaline still coursing through their veins. Mara looked at Elias, her expression a mix of awe and respect. "Captain, humans really are extraordinary. Even when surrounded, we find a way." Elias's eyes were steady. "It's not about being extraordinary. It's about refusing to give up. That's what Mira 9 teaches us. Persistence is stronger than technology. Resolve is stronger than fear. That's why we endure." Lyra's projection flickered, almost smiling. "You've proven it, Elias. You didn't just survive, you embodied the human spirit. The Vryn underestimated us, as they always do. But humans never stop." Artemis's voice was calm. "Course plotted for orbit around Mira 9. Recommended next action. Analyze retrieved data and plan counter-strategies against Vryn forces." Elias leaned back, staring out at the stars. The data they had retrieved held answers to centuries of human history, technological advancements, and perhaps even ways to challenge the Vryn directly. But he knew the mission was far from over. Each step would demand more courage, more ingenuity, and more persistence. Lyra's voice softened. "Captain, the message I sent, it was never about possession. It was about resolve, about finding someone who embodies what it means to be human, and you are that person." Elias clenched his fists, feeling the weight of responsibility. "Then we continue. Humans fight. Humans endure. Humans never stop until the goal is theirs. And our goal is to protect humanity wherever it exists." Outside, the galaxy stretched infinitely, a challenge and a promise. Inside, the humans aboard the shuttle prepared for the trials ahead. They had faced impossible odds, outwitted a superior enemy, and uncovered the secrets of Mira 9. But more challenges awaited, because humans endure, humans adapt, humans persevere, and in the face of overwhelming odds, humans always find a way. And somewhere the Vryn watched, confused and frustrated. They had fought humans before, but they had never faced creatures who refused to yield, who adapted instantly, and who turned every challenge into an opportunity. Humanity was unlike any species in the galaxy, and the Vryn were only beginning to understand it. The shuttle's engines hummed steadily, carrying Elias, Mara, and Lyra toward their next destination. The secrets of Mira 9 were only the beginning, and the galaxy itself awaited the human spirit's relentless pursuit. Elias knew one truth above all: humans never stop until they reach what they are meant to achieve. And this journey was far from over. The shuttle drifted in orbit above Mira 9, silent except for the soft hum of engines. Captain Elias Kale stood at the controls, eyes scanning the planet below. The ruins of the colony stretched across the surface like the scars of history, but they were no longer empty. Somewhere beneath that rubble, humans still survived, captives, descendants, and perhaps remnants of the original settlers. "Captain," Artemis said, her calm voice carrying a note of urgency. "Vryn patrols have increased. They are converging on the surface. Time is critical." Elias clenched his jaw. "Then we move. No hesitation. Humans endure when the impossible comes. We adapt, we fight, we survive." Mara Vey, his second-in-command, checked the weapons systems. "Captain, we'll have to land in the central canyon. It's the only way to reach the hidden tunnels without being detected." Elias nodded. "Good, everyone knows their role. Artemis, guide us through the safest path. Every second counts. The shuttle descended, weaving through jagged canyons and rocky cliffs. The Vryn patrols scanned below, but the humans remained hidden, their movement unpredictable. Unlike the aliens, humans did not rely solely on technology. They relied on creativity, intuition, and courage, tools no Vryn could anticipate. Landing finally, the team disembarked. The air was thin, carrying the faint scent of dust and decay. Elias led the way, Lyra's holographic projection flickering beside him, pointing toward the hidden tunnels. "This way," Lyra said. "The captives are held deep underground near the old power grid. The Vryn have fortified it heavily, but their focus is narrow. They cannot anticipate what humans can do." Elias glanced at his team. "Remember, humans fight for each other. Humans fight for survival. We do not yield. Let's move." They entered the tunnels, moving silently past ancient machinery and rusted corridors. Automated defenses set long ago to protect the colony had been reactivated by Lyra's programming. Laser grids flickered and turrets hummed softly, ready to strike any intruder. But Elias knew exactly how to use them. "Position yourselves," he ordered. "We use their own systems against them." Mara and Elias worked quickly, reprogramming the turrets to target approaching Vryn patrols. Energy pulses lit the tunnels as drones malfunctioned, falling one by one. The humans moved like shadows, swift and precise. Every step, every action displayed ingenuity, unpredictability, and courage, the hallmarks of humanity. Finally, they reached the central holding area. Through reinforced glass, Elias saw dozens of humans, men, women, and children watching silently. Some were in stasis pods, preserved by technology from centuries ago, while others had survived by adapting to the harsh underground environment. Lyra's voice softened. "These are the ones who endured." Mira 9 was not lost entirely. Humanity's spirit survived. Elias's heart surged. "Then we bring them home. Artemis, prepare extraction plan." But before they could move, alarms blared throughout the facility. Vryn reinforcements had arrived. Soldiers poured into the tunnels, red eyes scanning, weapons ready. Elias raised his voice. "Positions!" Humans survive when cornered, but humans fight smarter. We use everything the Vryn cannot anticipate. The battle began. Mara fired with precision, taking down Vryn soldiers with rapid strikes. Elias moved swiftly, using agility and clever maneuvers to neutralize enemies. Lyra activated defensive systems, turning the facility's own weapons against the invaders. Despite being outnumbered, the humans held firm. The Vryn were methodical but predictable, unable to adapt to the chaotic and intelligent tactics of their human opponents. Every move Elias made was calculated, yet unpredictable, showcasing the core of human ingenuity. Artemis projected an escape route to the surface, guiding the humans toward safety. "Extraction point in 3 minutes," she said. "Vryn reinforcements estimated to arrive in 5 minutes. Delay will be fatal," Elias nodded. "Then we make every second count." "Mara, cover the rear. Lyra, activate energy shields along the corridor. I'll lead the captives out." They moved quickly, herding the captives toward the shuttle. Some were hesitant, weakened by centuries underground, but Elias encouraged them. "Humans endure. Humans adapt. We fight for each other. Trust us and we'll get you out." As they neared the extraction point, the Vryn launched a final attack. Massive drones and soldiers advanced, their red optics glowing menacingly. But humans were ready. The energy shields deflected blasts while the reprogrammed turrets struck enemies from behind. Elias charged forward, clearing a path with precise strikes. Mara moved alongside him, her determination unwavering. Even the captives, inspired by human courage, joined in with makeshift weapons and defensive actions. Together, they were unstoppable. Finally, they reached the shuttle. The engines roared to life as the humans boarded. Lyra's AI projected a protective shield, giving the shuttle just enough time to lift off before the Vryn could react effectively. From orbit, Elias looked down at Mira 9. The planet that had once been a grave for a human colony was now a symbol of resilience. The surviving humans were safe aboard the shuttle, their hope rekindled. Lyra's voice carried warmth. "You did it, Elias. You didn't stop." The message. It was never about possession. It was about persistence, commitment, and courage. "You proved humanity's strength." Elias's eyes softened as he gazed at the stars. "Humans survive because we never stop. Not when things are impossible, Not when the odds are against us. Mira 9 proves that. And we will carry this spirit forward, everywhere humans exist. Mara smiled, exhausted but proud. We've made history. The Vryn underestimated us and they paid the price. Elias nodded, and they'll remember it. Humans fight not just for survival, but for each other. That's why we endure. That's why we prevail. Artemis's voice was calm. Course plotted for the nearest human colony. Estimated arrival, 20 hours. Shields and defensive systems optimized for Vryn pursuit. Elias leaned back in his seat, watching the stars stretch infinitely before them. Mira 9 was behind them, but its lessons and victories would stay forever. Humanity had triumphed through ingenuity, courage, and perseverance. Lyra's holographic image flickered softly beside him. Captain, the Vryn will remember this day. They have faced humans before, but never like this. You showed them what it means to never stop. You showed them the human spirit? Elias smiled faintly. It's not me alone. It's every human who refuses to give up. Every human who adapts, every human who fights for another. That's what we carry forward. That's why we'll always survive. The shuttle accelerated into the depths of space, carrying humans who had endured the impossible, and a captain who had led them with courage and resolve. Mira 9 was no longer just a lost colony. It was a testament to human perseverance, an example of what humans could achieve when they refused to surrender. Below, the Vryn watched, their strategies failing, their logic unable to comprehend the human way. Persistence, ingenuity, courage. These were not things that could be programmed or predicted. And in the face of humans, they were helpless. The humans aboard the shuttle shared quiet smiles, understanding the significance of their victory. They had faced a seemingly superior force and prevailed. They had rescued the survivors, uncovered the secrets of Mira 9, and demonstrated that humanity was a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. Elias placed his hands on the console, eyes reflecting the starlight. Lyra's message was simple, but it carried the truth. Don't stop until I'm yours. Not about possession. About resolve. About never giving up. And we've lived it. The team shared a moment of silence, reflecting on the journey. Every trial, every danger, every challenge had been a test of human spirit. And every test had been passed. Mara leaned back, letting out a sigh. We did it, Captain. We really did it, Elias nodded. Yes, and this is just the beginning. The galaxy is vast and humans have a long path ahead. But one thing is certain. We will never stop. Humans endure. Humans adapt. Humans prevail. Lyra's projection dimmed, her voice soft but proud. You've made me proud, Elias. Humanity is alive, strong, and unstoppable. And thanks to you, the future is brighter than ever. The shuttle surged forward, leaving Mira 9 behind, carrying its legacy, its survivors, and the triumph of the human spirit into the stars. The mission was complete, but the journey of humanity continued, guided by courage, persistence, and the refusal to surrender. Elias Kale sat back, looking out at the infinite galaxy, knowing that wherever challenges arose, humans would meet them head-on. Mira 9 had proven it, and the universe had just begun to witness the power of humans who never stop until they achieve what they are destined for. And so, with stars stretching endlessly ahead, Elias and his team carried the triumph of humanity forward, undaunted, unyielding, and unstoppable, because humans never stop until the goal is theirs.